When I saw the ad, it sounded simple. Logging in the Yukon. Housing included. Good pay. I was broke, so I didn't think twice. I packed my bag, got on a bus, and rode for 2 days until the road just ended. The camp sat at the edge of the forest, nothing around it for miles except dark trees and snow that never melted. The foreman handed me a rule sheet before I'd even put down my bag. The paper was stained, edges yellow. Rules typed in black, short and strange. He said nothing, just stared until I folded it and nodded. That first night, I learned quick, these weren't just safety rules. They were the only reason people made it out alive. Rule 1. Never swing an axe after sundown. The first evening, I thought I could get ahead. Sun dipped, but there was still light in the sky. I grabbed my axe, figured one more tree wouldn't hurt. I lined up my swing, and that's when the woods groaned. Deep, low, like lungs filling. I froze. The air went heavy, like something had just woken up. My arms went numb. The foreman was suddenly behind me, pulling the axe from my hands. He didn't say a word. Just stared at the tree limb and walked me back to camp. That night, I lay in my bunk wide awake. The sound of the woods breathing stayed in my head. I never touched the axe again after sundown. Rule 2. If you hear chainsaws after midnight, don't leave your cabin. It was my third night. I woke up at 2 in the morning to the sound of chainsaws. At first 1. Then 2. Then 3, cutting together like some terrible chorus. My cabin walls shook with the vibration. I thought maybe someone was working late, but the rules flashed in my mind. Stay inside. I sat on my bunk, gripping the blanket, counting every second. The saws tore through the dark for nearly 10 minutes, then silence. When morning came, I ran out expecting fallen trees. The forest stood untouched. Not a single cut, not a single branch out of place. The ground outside my cabin though, fresh sawdust. Rule 3. Always count the bunks. There are 12 bunks in the cabin. Every night before I slept, I counted. 12. Easy. One night, I made it 13. My stomach dropped. A man lay in the extra bunk near the stove, his back turned. He looked like he was sleeping, but his breathing was too slow. Too deep. I blinked, and the bunk was empty. No man. Just sheets folded neatly, like no one had touched them. My hands shook so bad I couldn't hold my flashlight. The other workers avoided my eyes when I asked. By morning, no one spoke of it. From then on, I never counted out loud. Rule 4. If the mess hall smells like pine tar, don't eat. The mess hall usually smelled of stale coffee and grease. But one morning it was different, sweet and thick, like pine sap boiling. The pancakes looked normal. Eggs, bacon, toast. Everything looked fine. Steve, one of the newer guys, laughed at the stupid smell rule and dug right in. By lunch, his lips were dark, swollen. He couldn't speak. By night, his bunk was empty, sheets stripped away. The foreman burned the mattress before any of us could ask questions. After that, none of us touched food on pine tar mornings. We just sat there, waiting until the air cleared, stomachs empty. Rule 5. When the whistle blows 3 times, line up outside. It happened my first week. Middle of the night, the camp whistle shrieked 3 times. Everyone scrambled into the snow, boots half-tied, jackets open. The foreman stood with his lantern, counting us one by one. Behind us, in the dark, something moved between the cabins. Wood cracked, doors splintered, but no one dared to look back. We stood shivering until dawn. 2 cabins were gone. Not just destroyed, gone. Like they had never existed. The snow where they had stood was smooth, untouched. The foreman didn't say a word. Just nodded, and we all walked back inside. Rule 6. Don't follow lantern light into the forest. One night I saw it, swaying between the pines. Looked like a worker, maybe someone lost coming back from the river. I grabbed my jacket, ready to help. Then I noticed the boots under the light. They pointed backward, toes facing me. The man, or whatever it was, walked deeper into the forest, steps smooth, steady. I stayed on the porch the whole night, staring at the lantern glow until the sun rose. In the morning, there were no footprints. No lantern. Just untouched snow stretching between the trees. Rule 7. If you hear your name from the tree line, don't answer. Snowstorm night. Wind howling, snow blinding. I heard it clear as day. Daniel, over here. Sounded exactly like Steve's voice, the same guy who vanished weeks ago. My chest tightened. I almost called back, almost ran toward it. But Rule 7 screamed in my head. I bit my tongue until I tasted blood. The voice kept calling, softer, laughing between words. I stayed frozen until the storm carried it away. By morning, my tongue was raw, and my knuckles bruised from clenching my fists. But I was alive. Rule 8. If the trees start bleeding, leave. I prayed I'd never see it. But one evening, as the sun dipped, I spotted dark red dripping from fresh stumps. The snow stained, the ground soaking. The foreman appeared at my side without a sound, his face pale. He nailed the rule sheet to my door again, harder this time, like a warning. You've got 1 night left, he said. His voice shook. Pack up tomorrow. That night, I sat on my bunk, staring at the wall. I could hear the forest breathing again, slow and steady, waiting for me to step outside. I've only got hours left before I leave this place. I don't know if I'll make it out, or if the forest will decide it wants me to. But if you ever see an ad for logging in the Yukon, housing included, meals provided, good pay, don't answer. Because there are rules to survive out here. And you won't survive long enough to learn them all.